Welcome to my channel. Today, we're exploring Stellar Defiance, a sci-fi journey where humanity stands strong and defies the odds across the galaxy. Dive into epic starship battles, powerful tech, and the resilience that makes us unstoppable in a universe full of challenges. If you're ready for a thrill-packed adventure in deep space, hit subscribe, and let's get started. In the distant future, humanity had long since outgrown the confines of its home planet, Earth, and had become a spacefaring species, venturing into the stars with an insatiable drive for exploration, expansion, and discovery. Along the way, they encountered countless challenges, many of which seemed insurmountable to all but the most technologically advanced races in the galaxy. There were threats from unknown regions of space, deadly creatures on distant planets, and harsh environments that demanded extreme resilience. But despite these obstacles, humanity had an unyielding knack for survival and innovation, rising to meet challenges that would have caused less determined species to retreat. Among the many ways humans proved their tenacity was through a field of technology that would eventually transform not only their own destiny but the entire understanding of biology and medicine across the galaxy. This was nanotechnology, a breakthrough so profound that it would forever change the way humanity viewed life, death, and healing. The story of humanity's pioneering achievements in nanotechnology began with what seemed to be an impossible dream: the creation of machines so small, so intricate, that they could manipulate the very building blocks of life itself. At the time, few believed such technology was possible, and even fewer believed it could one day reverse injuries that were once considered fatal. It was not that humanity lacked the drive to innovate. On the contrary, human history was marked by a steady, relentless march forward in the pursuit of knowledge. But the idea of creating tiny machines capable of entering the human body and repairing cells at the molecular level was, to many, a dream beyond reach. Other species had their own medical technologies, often highly advanced by human standards, but they relied on tools that worked on a macro-scale, cures that targeted the body as a whole rather than repairing individual cells and tissues. Some species used biological enhancements to speed up recovery, others relied on powerful medical systems that could replace entire organs, but no one had cracked the code for self-repair at the molecular level. It was a concept so advanced that most considered it science fiction rather than a genuine possibility. It was in this climate of skepticism that humanity's first breakthrough came, not from any one individual or group of scientists, but from a series of ideas that came together through the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Over the course of decades, teams of researchers and engineers, many working in obscurity on various fronts, began to develop the first iterations of molecular machines. These machines, or nanobots, were designed to travel through the bloodstream, repairing tissue damage, rebuilding cellular structures, and addressing infections or cancers at their very roots. The complexity of the machines was staggering. They were constructed from molecular components, each carefully engineered to perform specific tasks, from rebuilding nerve endings to sealing blood vessels after traumatic injury. But even the first successful tests were only a glimpse into what would come next. The first practical applications of nanotechnology were humble. Early on, nanobots were used to treat injuries that might otherwise have resulted in permanent disability. Broken bones were repaired faster than ever before, internal bleeding could be stopped in seconds, and minor cuts healed almost instantly. But these were small steps in a much larger process. The real breakthrough came when humans realized that the potential of nanotechnology was far greater than simply fixing minor injuries. It could actually save lives. The medical community, which had long struggled with the limits of what could be done with surgery, traditional medicine, and advanced medical equipment, began to see a future in which even the most catastrophic injuries could be repaired by the microscopic machines humans had created. As the technology evolved, so too did its capabilities. One of the first major successes came when a human colonist on a distant world was caught in a violent explosion during a mining accident. The explosion left him with severe internal damage, his heart torn apart, his lungs punctured, and most of his vital organs either damaged beyond repair or completely destroyed. No amount of traditional medicine or even cybernetic replacements could have saved him. The damage was simply too great. Yet, In what was initially considered a final, desperate attempt to save him, nanobots were deployed directly into his bloodstream. These bots had been designed with the ability to analyze cellular damage and repair it, but no one truly knew whether they could accomplish such an extraordinary task. What happened next shocked even the most optimistic of researchers. The nanobots worked quickly and efficiently, repairing the damage to his cells, regenerating tissue, and restoring his internal organs. The heart, once beyond repair, began to pump again. His lungs slowly began to function, and the ruptured veins and arteries were sealed. The human, who had once been on the brink of death, began to recover. Within hours, the catastrophic injuries that would have been considered fatal by any standard were reversed, and within weeks, he had fully recovered, almost as though the explosion had never happened. The medical community watched in awe, unable to fully comprehend the scale of what they had just witnessed. Humanity had done the impossible. They had healed injuries that were once considered fatal. This first success sent shockwaves through the scientific community, not just on Earth, but across the galaxy. Alien species, many of whom had far more advanced technology and longer histories of medical innovation, could hardly believe what they were seeing. To them, this was uncharted territory, a breakthrough that defied everything they thought they knew about biology and the limits of medical science. No species, not even the most advanced in the galaxy, had ever come close to such a feat. They had perfected prosthetics, advanced cybernetic implants, and life-extending technologies, but they had never been able to repair the body from within, to fix injuries so deeply embedded in the biological processes that they seemed insurmountable. Humanity had found a way to heal wounds that would have been fatal, turning death into life in a way that no one had ever imagined. The implications of this achievement were profound. For the first time in history, it seemed that death itself might no longer be an inevitability. As the technology developed, humans began to tackle injuries that had been fatal in the past: head trauma, spinal cord injuries, and even injuries to vital organs. They had discovered that nanobots could not only repair cells but also stimulate the body's own regenerative processes, enhancing the natural healing abilities of the human body to an almost unimaginable degree. In many cases, people who had been paralyzed, blinded, or left with catastrophic injuries that would have required lifelong care were able to regain full mobility, full vision, and full function, all through the use of nanotechnology. As the nanobots became more refined, they were able to perform more advanced operations. The healing process accelerated, and the bots could now treat conditions that had previously been seen as impossible to cure. Cancer cells could be targeted and eradicated at the molecular level, blood clots could be dissolved before they caused strokes, and even the effects of aging could be slowed or reversed as nanobots repaired the damage done to cells over time. Medical teams began to deploy nanotechnology not just in emergencies, but in routine surgeries, speeding up recovery times and reducing the risks of complications. What had once been considered the domain of science fiction had become a reality, and humanity's potential for survival, growth, and longevity seemed boundless. The galactic community, which had once viewed humans as a young and somewhat backward species, began to reevaluate their opinion. They had always been aware of humanity's ability to innovate, but they had underestimated the depth of their potential. It was not just that humans were technologically adept, it was that they were capable of thinking outside the box in ways that no other species could. Where other races relied on brute force or sophisticated external technologies to solve problems, humans had found a way to heal from within, to use their own body's natural processes in conjunction with advanced technology. This ability to blend biology and technology in such a seamless way set humanity apart from the other races in the galaxy. In the years that followed, humanity's medical nanotechnology began to spread across the galaxy. It wasn't long before other species, seeing the transformative effects it had on human health, began to adopt and adapt the technology for their own use. Some species, initially reluctant, soon found that the healing capabilities of the nanobots were unmatched by any technology they had developed. Even the oldest and most advanced races in the galaxy, with their centuries of wisdom and progress, were forced to admit that they had been beaten by the sheer ingenuity of humanity's approach. But it wasn't just the ability to heal that set humanity's nanotechnology apart, it was the way it fundamentally altered the nature of life and death itself. Species that had long accepted death as a natural, inevitable part of existence were now confronted with the possibility that death might not be the end. This realization created a ripple effect throughout the galaxy, changing the way civilizations viewed life, mortality, and the value of existence. Some species, seeing the potential for immortality, began to question the ethics of such technology, wondering whether it was right to intervene in the natural processes of life and death. Others, in a more pragmatic sense, recognized the immense benefits that such technology could bring, not only in terms of saving lives, but in improving the quality of life for their citizens. Humanity, in turn, did not stand still. They continued to refine and improve their nanotechnology, ensuring that it could be safely used across a wide range of species. As their medical nanobots were adapted for use on alien biology, humanity learned to work in collaboration with the various races of the galaxy, developing a more profound understanding of the intricate ways in which life operated. They realized that while they had healed wounds that were once considered fatal, they had also opened the door to deeper questions about the very nature of life itself. As more and more lives were saved, as more and more injuries were healed, humanity's place in the galaxy was cemented. No longer just a curious species from a distant planet, humanity had become a symbol of hope, of the endless potential of innovation, and of the power to overcome even the most seemingly insurmountable challenges. Their nanotechnology had healed the wounds of the past, and it seemed there was no limit to what they might accomplish in the future. In the end, it was clear, humans had not just pioneered a new era in medicine, they had redefined what it meant to be alive.